As an educator for public education for over 30 years, and as a university professor for a little over a decade, it wouldn't be surprising if I had a conversation with you about all of my learnings during education. I sure have plenty of stories to share. But today, when I thought about what would I talk about coming here, the first thing that came to mind was my inner child. The little girl that grew up in Watts in South Central Los Angeles and is here before you today. Watts is a population of about a little over 40,000. It's most known for the Watts Towers. It's also known for Watts Super Festival, wonderful concert, as well as the uprising in Watts in 1965. But one of the focal points most people know is that it's also known for gang culture, based on several public housing projects in the community. Well, being here, I thought about, what would I tell my younger child? What would I tell my younger self when I was a child about what it means and all the things that I've learned? So I'm going to share a couple of stories that would have been lovely letters I wish I could have had written to myself. And with these letters, I'm also going to ask for you to participate. So there are going to be some moments when I ask you to actually repeat after me. So you can decide if you want to say it inside privately, or if you like to say it out loud. Either way is fine. It's just most important that you repeat and say the words. It's empowering. Okay, so are you guys ready? Repeat after me. My uniqueness is worthy.
My uniqueness is worthy.
Yes, your uniqueness is worthy. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Well, you probably noticed when you came down, something that I've dealt with in elementary school, in middle school, in high school. I'm the tall girl. Every place I go, all through elementary, middle, and high school, I was also always identified as the tall one. And sometimes some of the things they said weren't so kind. I've been called gigantor, big girl, beanpole, and some things I will dare not share here. But in all of that, I started to find ways to mute myself. I would make sure I had the flattest shoes. The flattest heel, by the way, is called a pancake heel. And I would also make sure I never wore bright colors. And definitely, I would make sure I was standing in the very, very back row of all pictures. It was really a bit of a burden. Polka dots? Never, ever would I have worn polka dots at my height. Well, one day I went shopping. I was in high school, was feeling a little better about myself, and I saw a pair of heels. Sometimes flats weren't very becoming, and these heels were really cute. So I decided I'm going to put on those heels and I'm going to buy them. And that was my game changer. I began to embrace who I was and feel so much better about myself. So in a letter to my younger self, I would say, it's okay, you're unique. There's no one else like you. Your height, your traits, all of those things you have to embrace. And I want to share that with all of you here. Regardless of how you feel or what people say, know that you are unique and your uniqueness is worthy. A cute little fact, my best friend in elementary, middle, high school, and we went to college together, she was all of 5 feet tall. And of course, she wanted to be taller. Repeat after me. I grow, I develop, and I transform.
I grow, I develop, and I transform.
Always stay true to yourself and never let what someone else says distract you from your goals. Michelle Obama. So when you're younger, you have these ideas of all the things you want to be, an astronaut, an actress, an athlete, of course, all at the same time. I actually didn't really know what I wanted to be when I was younger. But I had an aunt who was going to college, and she would catch the bus every day. And of course, being this inquisitive little kid, I would say, I want to go with you on the bus. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So one day she said, come on, you're going to school with me. So we took a bus. It was a short 14-mile ride. Now driving, that's nothing, right? But as a little kid, it was a lot. So we left Watts and we went to Los Angeles City College. And there, before we got there, we had to take 2 buses. It took us almost 2 hours, and I was very tired and very annoyed that you actually had to transfer. So I was on one bus, got off that bus, waited, got on the next bus, and the whole time I was complaining. But what I didn't know is that my aunt really wanted me to see, and she wanted me to feel what it meant to be on a college campus. And I was ecstatic. I sat in the room, I listened to everything, I just absorbed everything like a sponge. It was amazing. At that time, I knew at a very young age that I wanted to go to the highest level in education. This short, long bus ride turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to me. Years later, I would graduate with my doctorate from USC. Next slide. Time tells all. I would tell my younger self, you know, don't rush. When I was young, I wanted to be older so much quicker. I just felt like people who are older get to do whatever they want. At least it looked like it, right? They can go to bed when they want, they can stay up late, they can do all the things they wanted to do. And I just wanted to get old really, really fast to be able to enjoy all the benefits of being an adult. At least I thought, right? My younger self, thinking about her, sitting at home, I would tell her, slow down, take your time, go for walks, enjoy everything. And when you're out for a walk, just stop, look in the sky, and know that that's your limit, which is you don't have any limits. Know that whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do, you can do it. That's part of what I would tell her in my letters. Repeat after me. I am an original.
I am original.
Yes, we are. So, growing up in my community, there was a neighbor a couple of doors down. I kind of had to pass his house to go to school. I had to pass his house to go do anything almost. And he made sure he let me know that he didn't like anyone that looked like me. He didn't like anyone from my culture. And he constantly said the cruelest things that I definitely would not share here. I had to go past his house every day. I had to come back past his house every day. And I learned more and more and more that when you're around someone who is just unhappy with themselves, someone who is just cruel and not kind, it's not the best time to try to do the same thing, right? My family would say, he doesn't know us, he doesn't know anything about us, just ignore him. And we did. We did ignore him for years. As I got older, I realized that he doesn't understand that we're all originals. Just like this strand of DNA, we are masterpieces. We are the one and only. Even if someone looks exactly like you, like identical twins, guess what? They're not you. So when there is someone that is unkind, someone who is just cruel, you have to stand up, look at yourself, and don't let that become a part of your story or your narrative. I actually never did. Yeah, sometimes the things that he said hurted, but as years went on and my family continued to thrive under like that fire, we realized his words weren't important and neither were the things he was saying. A funny fact, this was a family of 7 and every one of his children married somebody from my culture, which he was from not. So that's just a fun little fact. So in closing, thinking about my younger self and what I would say, I would tell my younger self, be proud of who you are and where you're from. I'm definitely proud to be a small little girl, now grown woman from Watts. Also, dream boldly. Dreams do come true. That day that I spent at school led me to my dream of being an educator. Trust the journey. My journey, that bus route, the route having to pass that very cruel house, led me to understand that people are going to be different, and that doesn't make you have to be different in that way. You can be peaceful, you can be supportive, and you can help others, regardless of how we look or our cultures, right? And lastly, embrace your originality. Make sure you appreciate who you are as an original, because there is no one else that's like you. Thank you.